I had early onset prostate cancer. And prostate cancer is the kind of thing that the kind of disease that the earlier you get it, the more virile it is, so to speak. And they have a something called the Gleason score, which is the level of differentiatedness, if that's the word, of the cancer cells. If it's a low score, it's on for 2 to 10. If it's a low score, you have a very tightly knit tumor, and the cells are all concentrated in the tumor. A higher score, they're kind of leaking out all over the place. I had an 8, and then my oncologist sent it out for review to make sure that it really was an 8, and it came back a 9, so which was worse. And I had surgery. They told me everything went well. I should not worry about it. And then 10 minutes later, the cancer began showing up in my blood tests. And that was worse than being diagnosed originally. And it was at that point that I sought out a support community. It was then called the Wellness Community in Los Angeles, now called the Cancer Support Community in West Los Angeles. And after a while, I'd been in the support groups. This one fellow, he was getting ready to leave. His treatment was over and he was doing fine, and he didn't feel he needed the group anymore. And he was summing up the changes he had made in his life as a result of having been diagnosed with cancer. And he summed it up by saying, "Cancer's the best thing that ever happened to me." And at this point, I was so not there. And I just stared at him in disbelief. And afterwards, I talked to him, and he said, "Yeah, you know, if I hadn't been diagnosed with cancer, I wouldn't have made all these changes. And my life is much better now than it was before." And I began meeting other people who expressed, a like-minded orientation. And that became the kernel of the book. And as a result of those, talking to those people, I began to design the kind of book I wish had existed when I was diagnosed.